If you love fried chicken, then you're going to love this Japanese version, which is Karaage Chicken. It's crispy, it's juicy, it's full of flavor, and just downright delicious. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, starting this off, we're going to need 700 grams or 1.5 pounds of boneless chicken thighs, preferably with the skin on, but it's fine without, and then to prepare these, let's cut them up into even bite-sized pieces. The way I'm doing it is I'm slicing each thigh into thirds, then depending on the size of each third, slice them into thirds too, but if your thighs are on the smaller side, simply slicing them in half is fine. Just make sure that they're all evenly sized so that they can cook at the same rate, then add the thighs to a mixing bowl. Grab yourself 40 grams or 1.4 ounces of fresh ginger, and using a teaspoon, use the edge to peel the ginger, which in my opinion is the best way to peel this, and it also massively reduces wastage compared to using a peeler or a knife. Once peeled, run the ginger along the largest side of a grater to easily break this down, then with the grated ginger in your hand, squeeze as hard as you can to extract as much juice as possible, preferably 1 tablespoonful or 20 milliliters, and with the remaining ginger you can save this for another dish or place it into compost. To continue the marinade, pour in 3.5 tablespoons or 70 milliliters of soy sauce for a strong umami flavor, along with 2.5 tablespoons or 50 milliliters of mirin or sake for a mild sweetness, acidity, and even more umami flavor. Then get your hands in there or use tongs and rub your delicious thighs, getting them well coated in the marinade, and then we're going to allow this to rest for no more than 20 minutes. In the meantime, to make a 5-spice salt, place a pan onto your stovetop and add in 4-star anise, 1 teaspoon or 1.5 grams of whole cloves, 1 teaspoon or 1.5 grams of whole fennel seeds, and 1.5 teaspoons or 2 grams of Szechuan peppercorns. Place this onto a high heat and then toast the spices for 1.5 to 2 minutes or until golden and cracking, giving them a mix around every so often. This right here is the start of a 5-spice powder, which in my opinion is one of the most fragrant spice mixes, and also toasting the seeds enhances each of their flavor profiles. Once you start to hear cracking from the seeds and they're golden brown, this can then be turned off the heat, removed from the stovetop, and then allow it to cool for 5 minutes. Now that the spices are cool, we can then add them into a spice grinder or mortar and pestle and add in 1 small cinnamon stick, which I snapped in half to make it fit, and also 3/4 of a tablespoon or 8 grams of sea salt flakes. Place the lid on the grinder if you're using one, then turn this on and grind it until it's completely fine, and if you're using a mortar and pestle, this unfortunately will take a lot longer. Now that that's done, remove the lid, then tip the finely ground 5-spice salt into a bowl or shaker and pop this aside for later on in the recipe. Now going back to the stovetop, place a large deep-sided pot or pan onto your stovetop and pour in enough canola oil, sunflower oil, or vegetable oil to fill the pot or pan halfway, and if you've seen my previous video, this is the same oil. Place this over a medium-high heat and then heat the oil to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now whilst we wait for the oil, add in 1.5 cups or 180 grams of corn flour or starch to a wide bowl or tray, then add in a maximum of 3 pieces at a time of the marinated chicken, and then rub the thighs into the corn flour, making sure to get it well coated, getting in all of those nooks and crannies. Also, the reason we do this in small batches is to avoid the corn flour clumping from the marinade, which can very easily happen. Once that's coated, place the chicken onto a plate and repeat the dredging step for the remaining chicken, ensuring that it's all well coated, which will leave us with all of this, and then now it's time to fry. Now with the oil being the correct temperature, add in 1 piece of chicken at a time to avoid sticking and clumping, and then we're only going to fry this for 45 seconds, doing so in batches, and that way it won't be soggy. After 45 seconds, let's then remove the chicken, shaking off any excess oil, then place this onto a wire rack, kitchen cloth, or tea towel to rest for 45 seconds. With this method, this will allow the chicken to get the most amazing crust, helping it stay crispy, and also allow the oil to regain temperature. Once rested, place the chicken back into the oil, and this time we're going to fry it for 30 seconds. Now because the oil has been drained from resting, the reheated oil is going to penetrate any cracks in the batter that may have been formed, and get this even more crispy than the initial fry. 30 seconds later, this can then be removed again, to which we're going to rest for 30 seconds, then repeat this step one last time, and overall the chicken is cooked 3 times. Now once you're finished with the oil, make sure to turn this off, allow it to cool down overnight, then this can be strained and reused again. Okay, so now we have our delicious fried chicken, which we can then season up with our 5-spice salt, salt-based style if you wish, or you could just season it without the unnecessary theatrics. To serve this up, place the chicken into a nice pile on a board or in a bowl, and then I'm actually going to cheat here and use Kewpie mayo, as this is the perfect match for this recipe, and I know I shouldn't be cheating like that, but it is what it is, and then this leaves us with the final and best step, which is that we can then dig in. So there we have it. This to me is seriously some of the tastiest fried chicken you can get, and best of all, it's so easy to make. This recipe here serves 2 to 3 people and can easily be doubled, tripled and so on, but I can guarantee you'll eat it all on your own. To store it, you can place it in the fridge for up to 3 days or in the freezer for up to 6 months, but unfortunately the batter will become a little bit soggy, so it is best to eat it fresh. If you did want to reheat it, you can place it in the oven set to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit and heat it for about 10 minutes just until it's nice and hot, or you can simply place it in the microwave. It's completely up to you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button, it really does help my channel out, and consider subscribing along with hitting that bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching everyone, stay safe and enjoy.